Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Maids Who Made It. I am your host, Cheryl Hager. I am here today with Leah Mitchell. She's amazing, and we're going to get to meet her in a second. For those of you that don't know me, I am an active cleaning business owner. I own my company out of Boston, Massachusetts called Made It Right Cleaning. I'm also a maid service coach. My coaching group is called Sisters Who Scale. You might have heard of it. And now I decided to start a podcast show because people have asked for it. So this podcast show is called Maids Who Made It. So I get to hear everyone's stories on a daily basis as a coach. I get to hear their successes, their defeats, their triumphs, their struggles. And I feel it's important to, tell all of you that when you're growing a cleaning business that you're not alone. So many people are going through stuff, or they've gone through a similar situation like me, like Leah, struggling with these same exact things that you are, like a picky client, a toxic employee, whatever it is, you are not alone. So I decided that once a month, or once every other month, sometimes it gets a little crazy, I will have a guest on that is either a cleaning business owner or an industry expert that will come and share their stories with all of you. We all have reasons why we started our cleaning businesses, some out of necessity, like myself, and some for different reasons. So here we are today. So each month, I'm going to highlight a successful maid service owner from all around the world, the US, Canada, and maybe some cool places as well. We're going to be hearing their stories from the good, the bad, and the downright ugly and dirty. This show is going to be raw. It's going to be unfiltered. So get ready. I am super excited to have Leah Mitchell on today from Leah's Cleaning. She is from Trinity, Florida. So welcome, Leah. Glad to have you on today.
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for having
Leah.
me.
A little birdie told me that you mixed up a little bourbon before the show. Is that correct?
Yes, I had just a little bourbon, just a little bit.
A little bourbon.
First podcast. So
first podcast. It's, well, as you can see, it's anyone that knows me, I'm pretty down to earth. I'm pretty just whatever. Tell it like it is. I might swear a little bit, and that's okay. That's just kind of who I am. So you don't need any bourbon. I don't have any bourbon. I have water, right? But if that loosens you up, that's kind of cool. So just a little bit of background. Leah's a graduate from the program that I have, my signature program, the Drop Them Up and Scale Accelerator. And she's also in the Sisters Elite, which is my graduate program, where my true rock stars are that are growing thousands of dollars at a time, getting out of the field, and really creating legacies for themselves. So Leah and I have worked one-on-one, we've worked in a group setting, and I have to say it's totally been an honor to know you and be your coach, and it's only upward from here. Leah has some great stats that we're going to talk about a little later on. So Leah, tell us a little bit about you.
A little bit about me. So I'm from Florida. I'm born and raised, and so I play volleyball. I've always played volleyball my whole life. That's something I enjoy doing. Yeah, I'm a cleaning business owner.
Tell me about the volleyball. Did you play like in college, or like what was that about?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I played competitively all through high school. And then I got a college scholarship. Then cool. I played for like a season, and then I left and ran away and got married to my ex-husband.
Married. So this is a little fun fact. Leah is 5'11" and I am 5'2". Yeah. So we've never officially met yet, but if we get to meet at some point, she's going to tower over me, especially if she's wearing heels. So
I can't wait to take a picture. I know, because I'm like 6'3". I'm like 6'3" with stilettos.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is so crazy. So volleyball. So I feel like when women play volleyball, like that's a super competitive sport. Like
yes,
sport,
it is.
Right?
Yeah. And then after playing like in college, after that, there's not really much out there. So then you start to play beach. So then I played beach for
Okay.
a while on competitive beach, and I loved it so much. And then I tore my ACL, then I stopped for a couple of years, and then I'm back into it now. I've been playing for the past couple of years, like a local league, like once a week. And it's like my
different. I didn't know that. Beach is different. You play like on a turf too. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. So there's grass ball, there's beach ball, and one of the I play at a league, a local league where it's sand, but we play fours instead of two people, so it's like four people instead of two. So, but it's very laid back. It's fun, it's a good time. It's my little de-stress in the middle of the week. So.
Oh, so you're still in a league then? You play?
Yeah, I play like every Wednesday.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Have you played at Clearwater Beach? I love Clearwater Beach.
Oh yeah. I've played quite a bit at Clearwater. Yeah. That's where I'm from. I'm from Clearwater. Yeah, I'm from Clearwater.
I love Clearwater. That's my favorite. Sarasota and Siesta Key is nice. I happen to think Clearwater is a little bit better.
I love Clearwater.
I like it too. Pretty so before you launched your cleaning business, what were you doing?
I was working part-time because I was a stay-at-home mom for like the beginning part of my daughter's life.
That's it. So you got married when you were young then?
Yeah, when I was 18. Yeah. So like I got married at 18 really? And then when Claire was about 4, so it's about 22, I think, is when I started working. I worked part-time at a craft beer and wine bar. And so I did that. And then, then as I was going through my separation from my ex-husband, and I had to move back in with my parents, and and it was like, it's like, it was just like, okay, I can't close the bar every night. I need to be home with my baby because my daughter, she's I'm her person, like, and I've always, I'm the one who takes care of her. So,
I get it.
I have to, so
I was waitressing. I was waitressing in a bar when I got pregnant. And I worked all nights too. So when I got pregnant with my son, I was like, well, we'll be able to do this much longer. You know what I mean? And so,
and it's great. Yeah, it's a great, I loved being a bartender. I loved it. But it was also like the hours just it was too late for me. And so, but while I was going through that, I was like, okay, all my focus was mainly on, because when I left my ex-husband, I only had $400 in my bank account, and that was it. And that's all I wanted.
Crazy.
So I was like, I have to focus on, making money and supporting my daughter. So, and thank God for my parents for, taking me in and helping us in our time of need. Cause I know a lot of people don't have that. And I was very, very grateful for that. But, so I went from, I still worked at the bar, but I was like, okay, I need a daytime job while I'm doing this, figuring this out. So I signed up with, a cleaning franchise. And I worked for them for about 6 months. And then, I became one of their top cleaners, and,
wow. Okay. So were you at home at this point?
At home.
At your parents? Were you at your parents' house?
Yeah. I was still at my parents' house, and I was just saving. I was paying off things, saving money. Like I was just like in that mode, like constantly working. And then I decided, okay, like some of my bar guests were like, oh, you're cleaning? Like, why don't you come clean my house? I'm like, okay, well, I can't during the week. So I would do it on the weekends during the day. So, then I
was working all the time then.
Yeah. So then I did it was like, like Saturdays and Sundays, I would go and clean like 2 houses a day on top of cleaning, or cleaning during Monday through Friday, but it was separate from it was a different area too. So, cause I always felt like good karma, like to not like, it would be bad karma if I took I didn't want anything to do with their business because that's their business, you know. So
did they know you were cleaning on the side?
No, they didn't. They didn't. And you know, and I told them to, you know, I was like, hey, when I, you know, I was just like, yeah, this is a lot, and I, you know, and I left. But once I supplemented that income, then I was able to build more, and very quick. I built up pretty quickly. I ended up doing, you know, solo for about 3 years, and I had like 15 recurring clients. And it was great, but I was also turning away business, you know? So.
Right. So you were solo for 3 years. Do you think that, so how old were you at this time? You had to be what, like 23, 24, maybe?
Let me think. Hold on. 25. No, wait. No, I was 25 to 28.
25 to 28. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you think that, you know, being a single mom like motivated you to break
100%.
away from, and start your business, right? I would 100%. Think.
Yeah. And also because, you know, like my parents work full time, and my ex-husband did not help. He doesn't help out. So it's up to me to be the one to take care of my daughter, you know? So it's like picking up from school, taking her to practices, you know, making sure like all the things. It's like, so, you know, making my own schedule to be able to do that for her, you know, was a big thing for me. And
how old is she now?
She is 12, turning 13.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, it only gets fun from here.
Oh, I know. No, I'm very proud of her. She's growing up to be a beautiful young lady, and she plays tennis competitively, and
that's cool.
So we're at tennis like 3 to 4 days out of the week, and you know, she's doing great in school. She's a good kid. She's a great kid, and yeah.
Is she going to be tall like you?
Oh yeah, she's already 5'6".
Oh my God, she's taller than me.
Yeah, I think she'll get to my height. I think so. I think she will. She's close.
So you're still technically a single parent, but you have a significant other. So has it gotten easier for you to build the business? Do you still like feel like you're a single parent, or like what does that like dynamic look like?
You know, no, I mean, my boyfriend, he helps out so much. He's such a great partner. And
that's good.
You know, he helps with, I mean, everything. I love him. Like, it's just like,
that's so nice.
Like, I never thought I could find someone like I don't know. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that there was.
You got married. I didn't know you got married at 18. That's crazy time.
Yeah, I know.
That's like. So
I know. I was married for like, let me think. Okay, so I was married for like 6.5 years. I think we were married.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, okay. And then we were married for 6.5 years, and but we were together, you know. Well, we started dating when I was 14, and like, you know, so it was like first love, you know, whatever. But anyways, but yeah, but
it was the hell they're doing.
Yeah, it was, but I'm just so grateful for, you know, it's Jason is, you know, he helps out, you know, when he can, and he's got his own thing he's doing too, but you know, we help. It's a partnership, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Like, it's very
lucky. Some women don't have that. Some women that run the cleaning businesses don't have that. And, you know, I mean, I started my business when I was a single parent, because I saw one of my friends doing it, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, I could kill this. You know, and I just was like, this looks so easy. Of course, little did I know, years later, it's not as easy as it looks. But I did it out of necessity because I was a single parent too. Yeah. And I was like, I needed money, right? I needed money to pay the bills and stuff like that, because I couldn't waitress or bartend at night because, you know, his schedule now, he's in school. Now you have to pick him up at, you know, 2:30. So you get these crazy hours, and you need to do things like to survive. So a lot of women turn to cleaning houses as single parents. Like, we're not alone. Just like millions of us. It's the same. Yeah. So would you say like what do you find challenging now about, like, having a business, having your daughter, and running her life too?
Yeah, so it's always a balance and there's, I mean, there's struggles, no, life's not perfect, but I know right now we're at the point, as like I'm bringing up one of my girls to be in more of like a admin position, so that way she can help me with tasks, and because of the point that we're at, and that's going to help relieve a lot, I feel like, off of things, but yeah, no, I mean, it's
that's going to be helpful for you.
It's going to be helpful. I'm excited for the growth, because we've been growing so much, and it's so great, and such a great team. Like, the girls are just, I couldn't ask for better staff, and it's really, it's going great. Like, and it's funny though, I had looked up a statistic of the average lifespan of a cleaner. An employee, and that's like 3 to 6 months. So
it's crazy, right?
It's crazy. And I know in the beginning, that was basically my turnaround, but then it's like, once you learn and you have you just constantly learning, it's not, and it's like, but all of my girls, I mean, like, I'm like having 2 years, 1.5 year, 1.5 year, 1 year, like 9,
so
like,
awesome.
Yeah, so it's like we're, and I think, company culture, and then it's also, I feel like that's really important, and making it a place that that they want to come and work, and
it's
so
important. It's important. So what would you say, like, segueing into that, like, what would you say makes your company different than other cleaning companies? Like, why do you think clients choose you? Because you're killing it down there, like where you are. Like, she had 6 estimates today, everyone. 6 estimates. Bam, 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 like every hour, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think, why do you think clients are choosing your company over other companies? Because there's a ton of competition everywhere.
Yeah, there is. Well, I think professionalism, I've always felt like that's very important. Even from when I was, solo, I had my own uniforms. I think that's, it's also about, like, I think with uniforms too, it's showing up to someone's home and you have, the logo, Leah's Cleaning Services, so it's like, and if people show up and just like, a t-shirt, and they don't know who you are, you could be a person on the street pretending to be a cleaning person, so it's just like professionalism. It makes us all look really good. I think also, the how I teach the girls how to clean and our expectations is very important. So there's that. And we do, I've been told, there's people who say everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. For us, I've been told by girls that I've hired, I've been told by, clients, when I show them the checklist of what we clean when we come to clean, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like a deep clean. And it's like, well, we have our deep clean here. And this deep clean for us, this makes sense of something that needs to be done when we first start, like come in for the first time, or, on a yearly visit, but all of these things should be getting touched. And that's, so I think that sets us apart. And then also, communication, I'm very, very prompt on getting back to clients, and
that's big. That's what a lot of solo cleaners don't do. They just, they're terrible at communicating. Like like they will reschedule at the last minute.
Yeah.
Right. I hear that all the time myself when I'm up here going on estimates, that they will, cancel an hour before, or they're scheduled to 9 and they show up at 2.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I hear the same thing too. Like, I'll hear about like solo cleaners that, and not to say like all solo cleaners are bad. There's good solo cleaners out there, but there's quite a few out there that are not, taking it, I don't know, seriously.
Serious.
right?
Let's take it serious. So they just think, I can clean, I get a mop, I get a caddy, I need some money, let's go. Like they're hustling everybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think the cleaning industry or the cleaning business is probably one of the most hustled businesses out there. Like you can't hustle being a plumber because you need to go to school or whatever. But like so many people just think that they can just start a cleaning business, and it's so far from the truth, because it can be really, really, it can be difficult. Like what do you find challenging about building your business now?
Right now, like I said, like right now with building it, really, I'm not going out on regular cleans anymore, but like my thing is, because what we do, the way we have our business is, we're more solos than we are teams. And so, if someone calls out, I have to come cover, or, that kind of thing. So that's kind of like, so that's kind of a thing where, that's where I need help with that. So that's one of the things. But I know, I don't know. That's one of the things I feel like is a challenge. Sometimes it's not all the time it happens, but when it does happen, it's like, oh, okay, time to put out this fire, but it's
like, you would think like, oh, okay, no big deal, I'm going to go out and clean. But when you have to run payroll, do the schedule, answer the phone, do the walkthroughs, whatever, it's super overwhelming.
Oh yeah. And keeping track of everything, you've got emails, you've got there's so many points of communication. There's, if there's like a client complaint, you have to address that. You have to go out, you have to re-clean, and there's just so much. And, and social media, and like, it's to be a cleaning business is very different than being a solo cleaner.
Yeah. 100%. Solo cleaner's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy to me. You just get a bunch of houses and just go clean. And that's what we did in the beginning.
Yeah.
All of us. Right.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And
but it's like, managing the employees, making sure that they're okay, having to deal with stuff like, oh, I forgot a mop head today. Okay, I'll run out and go give you one, because, for them to come back. There's just, and then, if, there's things like that, it's like you have to be available. But
it's a lot. So can you give the audience like an example of like what do you find in your cleaning business now? Like, what do you find hard? Do you find like it's like the work itself? Do you find competing against other companies? Like, do you find pricing hard or selling? Like, what's a challenge for you in your business?
I wouldn't say like my competition. I don't think that it's like competition's not a big deal. There's plenty of houses to go around, I don't think that's a big deal. Yeah, I would just say for me, like, it would just be like the coverage, like covering if someone calls out for me. Like if somebody
once you stop cleaning, you as an owner, you never want to clean again.
Yeah.
That's what happens, because you get used to being out of the field.
Well, it's funny.
So you're like,
like I don't mind cleaning, here and there, but it's so funny because my body has adjusted. So it's like I'll go out and clean, and I'm like, the next day I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sore. Why am I so sore? Like it's a workout.
Oh yeah, I cleaned for a while, and my body gave out on me. You know what I mean? I was a little bit older when I started. I started, when I was older than you started. So picture yourself in 10 years still cleaning. You'll be like, oh, So, and I remember us having a conversation. This was, I want to say this is in the summer. So I'm going to ask you this question, and you're going to laugh because I know it's the exact day that you may have felt this. Was there ever a time where you wanted to quit the cleaning business?
There's been many days. There's been
What of one day in particular? Do you remember the day?
I can tell you, I think you know it. The one day that I like completely lost my marbles, I had every girl call out.
Yeah.
One day. And I was like, is this a joke? Are you kidding me? Like, I absolutely lost it. And it honestly, they didn't. And what was interesting is they actually all didn't know. They didn't know.
Was it a Monday?
It was a Monday, and it was, I had just come back from vacation, and it was that Monday. And one of the girls, she let me know over the weekend. So I was a little bit more prepared for her.
Okay.
But then it was, but then it was like I woke up and it was like three others, because at the time it was 4 girls, and it was 3 others, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so pissed. I was so mad. And I had to move all of the queens from Monday throughout the week. I just had to move them around.
Yeah.
And I went out and cleaned because there was one big one. I went out and cleaned it.
Okay.
And then the next day in the office, it was so funny because I'm in there and I play music in the office in the mornings. Yeah. And it's usually like upbeat, like, you know, like let's get it. And it was like angry rock, apparently. I don't remember.
Who did you have on? Alice in Chains.
It was like angry rock, and the girls they texted one of my girls, and they were like, "What's wrong with Leah?" And because I was quiet, I was like, "I don't want to talk to anybody." I was so just like, and then she's like, "Everybody called out yesterday," and she's like, "What?" You know, and then nobody knew that each other had called out, and
that's weird. So they don't talk then.
No, not all of them. There's some that have like a relationship, but not all of them. It's more like, you know, like we have like a work family, you know, like work relationship. Yeah. We'll do stuff together, like, you know, for like get-togethers or whatever here and there. But yeah, it's pretty professional, I feel like, you know, here. So, but yeah, it was
you playing that music, being mad.
Like, oh yeah, I was furious. And then but I didn't realize I was playing it. I think I was just like, put on rock, like, and then it was like angry rock. But then all the girls had come in once they realized, and they were all apologetic and this and that. And I was just like, you know, I just lost it. I was like, this is absolutely like my worst nightmare came true that day. You know, I was like, that was insane. So
but you still went out and cleaned.
I did. Yes.
How many did you do yourself?
1, but it was a big one. It was one that was like a 4-hour clean. So I was like, there's no way I can, because the way I did it on the schedule, I'm like, there's no way that I could put that in. So I was like, that's the one I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you could have canceled all of them and gone to the beach, but you didn't. You did one. At least you went and collected some money.
Yeah.
So what would happen as a result of that? Like, so the girls obviously felt bad.
Yeah, they felt terrible. No, you know, for as far as call outs go, I really don't have a ton. It just happened to be like a random like blue moon. What's it, like a blue moon or something?
That's how maybe it's like Mercury in retrograde or something.
It was a weird thing. Because girls, you know, like they'll sometimes time to time they'll get sick or, you know, what have you, or have like a core issue or whatever. But it's not a recurring regular thing. Yeah. So, you know, but I told them, I'm like, this is not acceptable. Like, I was just like, you know, I was so upset. I was so pissed.
Because they weren't all sick. Like, that's a bunch of complete bullshit.
Well, I found out more, like one was sick, one was hungover. The other one, she did have a legitimate, she already told me what was going on. And then another one, I don't know. She said she didn't feel well or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
mean, what employees don't understand is that us as bosses, CEOs, whatever you want to call us, we know when you're lying.
Yep.
We know when you fake being sick. Like, no one is that sick all the time. I remember I was doing interviews one time, and I had 3 people that I was scheduled to interview all mysteriously have to go to the emergency room. And I just shut the computer and I said, that's it, I'm done for the day. I'm like, they're a bunch of liars.
Yep.
Like not just 3 people, they're all random. You know what I mean? Like that. So it's like, don't lie to your boss because the bosses know.
We hear all the excuses, all the excuses. I had
Oh,
one
yeah.
that I absolutely like. I ended up firing the girl because it was just like so absolutely ridiculous. But there was one thing where I remember it was like once a week, and she had just started with me, and she was only with us for like maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 4 weeks she lasted.
Yeah.
But it was like once a week, and then at the last excuse, I was like, I'm sorry, no. She says, I can't come in. My boyfriend, or my best friend's boyfriend, got in a car accident. What does it have to do with you? I'm
It's like,
sorry.
get
It
outta
has nothing
here.
to do with you. You
I
can come
know.
into work. And then, because the week before that, it was, oh, my dog's toenail ripped off. I have to go, to the vet.
I
I'm
remember
freaking.
you telling me that.
Yeah. And then I said, okay, bring in a vet note. And she comes in the next day. I didn't take him to the vet. And I was like, okay. Like, then what did you do? Like, there's not much you can do. Because I Google it. And I'm like, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. So just let it be. Like,
some people are just unemployable.
Yeah.
Like that's like a good way of putting it. Like some people really don't want to work.
Yeah.
Especially in Massachusetts. I'm kidding. That's another topic for another day. But some people just say they want to work and say they're motivated, but like they just don't, and that's a prime example. Because if somebody wants to work, they're going to show up to work.
Yep.
They're going to be like, watch my dog.
Yep.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? Yep. So, I mean, it's just some of the things we deal with. So like moving on to like mental mindset stuff, like do you think if you had one, and I don't know if you have or not, like as an entrepreneur, like, what would you say a possible mental barrier would be for you?
A mental barrier.
Yeah. Right. What like stops you? Is it like anxiety? Is it dealing with like disgruntled clients? Like what kind of trips you up?
I don't know. Such an interesting question.
We've been working together. We've been working together now for like a year and a half, and so you've grown. You've tripled your income. What? No,
it's been like 2 years.
Has it been that long?
It's been 2 years, yeah. Because I remember it was like I started the course in like May of like 2023.
All right. So why did you come to me for coaching? There had to be a barrier.
Oh, because of hiring. I had the crappiest employees.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They were terrible. Okay. They were awful. They walked all over me. It was ridiculous.
All right. So now you just talked about like the golden cleaning business you have, where you have a great staff and no one ever calls out. So let's rewind to when they were calling out. Like tell me about what was going on there.
So, I basically I would hire because I'm like, okay, I need somebody with cleaning experience. Yes, it's important, So right. I would just hire and be like, okay, you have cleaning experience, welcome. Like, and then just let it like take their like word and everything for it. And not and just be too nice. Let things go and but you shouldn't let them go, so there was like, you
didn't have a screening for how to hire people then.
Now I didn't, and now I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you just said if they have a pulse and they had a car, they could come to work. Actually, no, you would hire people that you would buy cars for, right? What was her name? What's the fake name?
Oh,
let's give the fake
name.
Okay.
Name.
Yeah, so Leah has like a bleeding heart and wants to help everyone, which is a great thing. But what she needed money for a car, is that what it was?
So so the car wasn't doing well and she had to give it back to her sister and all sorts of stuff. And she was my only person that was cleaning with me. And she was a sweetheart. And the clients loved her and she knew how to talk to people. She was with me for a year and a half. She was great, but I feel like definitely at the end I started realizing more like manipulative kind of things going on, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, you know, she needed a car, and my uncle was selling my cousin's car, so I was like, you know what? If this car, it's a good car, it's reliable, you know, I'll you know, buy it for you, and you can just pay me back, pay me off. And she did. She would pay me.
Oh, she paid you then. She paid for the whole
Yeah.
thing.
No. Well, yeah, near the end she did. I had a little bit of a loss, but not much. No, because she would pay it off. Like I would deduct it out of her paycheck. So it was like $500 a month, like that would get deducted out of her paycheck. And then she ended up, I think, only owing me. She owed me, I think, like 900 or something, because there was like something else I helped out with her that I gave her some money for. It was like 200 something dollars, like repairs for the car or something. So it ended up being like $900 when I had to fire her because of very valid reasons. And I told her,
what were those reasons? What were
those reasons were, she showed up to the client's home.
Okay.
The client said, oh, you know, she basically went to turn her away. And, you know, and I trusted this employee, and I was on the phone with her, and I said, hey, well, just let her know that I can be there tomorrow. And I think at that point I had hired a second person who I was training. And so I had somebody, and I think that she got a little jealous of that. And this was her client that she was a regular clean for. So she went and said, oh, well, I can come on Saturday and clean. And the client said, oh, okay. And I had told her, hey, we can be there tomorrow. We don't clean on the weekends.
Right.
So
she was trying to clean without you.
And at the time too, the girls, they were allowed to have the supplies, like they didn't have to bring it back to the office. You know, the thing. They were allowed to have their supplies out, only needed to come in to get refills. I'm never, ever again doing that. And so she had all of her supplies with her, and she showed up, and they noticed something was off, like it didn't feel right. So then they called me on Monday and asked me, hey, Leah, just wanted to make sure you got your money from the cleaning on Saturday.
And so they had no idea that she was going to take the money. They thought that she was going to clean, but through you.
They had, initially, but then they had a suspicion, and then that's why they called me. And so then I'm like, oh, fantastic. Okay, great. And then I had asked her, I said, what did they say? Oh, they said just to skip it, wait till the next cleaning, you know, the next biweekly. Okay. And then at this point, I'm like, okay. And at the time too, I was paying the girls biweekly. So I was like, okay. And so I'm like, you had just gotten paid. So I'm like, I need to wait until there's enough money on your paycheck to cover the balance of what you owe me for the car. So, and I did that. And when I confronted her, it was all I was set up, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, listen, I said, this is what's going to happen. I said, either number one, we can just call it even, and your paycheck I'll just keep for the money that you owe me, or I can get the authorities involved. So
what'd she say?
What are you going to do? And she was like, take the paycheck. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I would never do that to you. I'd never. I'm like, but you did. And I'm like, you know, everything. Yeah. So I was like, you know, it's and everybody, and as much as, you know, it's like people are, you know, selfish, right? So like if they see an opportunity to do something,
it's easy. So like the money's there. Oh, Leah won't know. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because this happens quite a bit. Like you see it like in some of the, you know, Facebook cleaners groups and stuff like that. Like staff will just think it's okay to just steal a client. And so it's hard to, obviously they lose their job, but you almost, I feel like like it's in our service agreement that we tell the client that if they hire the staff, that the staff, you know, outside of, you know, my company, that the staff's immediately going to lose their job, and there could be a fine. So it's really, you want to tell the client that this is prohibited in the company, because sometimes the clients don't know. And so, like in that instance, your client thought that you knew.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so did you put that clause in after that happened?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
And all the girls, they signed a non-compete agreement, and it's in that, and I go over every walkthrough. I go over that with them. That's one of the sections we go over.
Yeah. And it's hard to enforce a non-compete. You just want to make it known that that's not okay. So it's a deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't do it. You know what I mean? I mean, do you really want to spend your time going to court, getting a lawyer? That's not going to be worth it, but it's a deterrent. So, and then you pray for the best. Like if you build a good company culture like you have, you pray that they'll be, honest and have integrity and not do that type of stuff.
Yeah. And I've had too, where a client has reached out like to one of my cleaners wanting to start his own cleaning business. And thankfully she came to me and told me, and,
Wow.
he was my second.
What did he say? Did he invite her to come clean for him?
Yeah. So basically I already knew something suspicious was going on, because he says, hey, he goes, I have a cleaning app. I need you and all of your cleaners to sign up for it in order to clean my businesses. And I said, no, but we don't need to do that. And so that was one thing. And then another thing was, he came to me and was like, oh, I need to, you need to talk to my business partner. We started this cleaning app. And I'm like, cleaning app. And then I talked to the guy. They're trying to start a cleaning business, and they were doing 1099. And that's, and I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to give you all of my girls' information for them to sign up with you, and then for you to try to get them to go.
He was trying to get their info so we could steal them from you.
It was very snaky. So I was, so I knew, I had an idea of what was going on. I turned it down. I said, I'm sorry, our business models are not the same. And this is not, but we were still cleaning for them. And then he started asking random questions like here and there at the cleanings, like, oh, hey, what's your phone number? Oh, hey, what's, how much does Leah pay you? And, starting to go, how many hours do you work? And asking these questions.
When did you stop it? What did you do?
Well, the whole time they're coming to me telling me this, and they're like, we would never leave to go over there. Like, and then it happened the one day, he had sat her down and said, we're gonna stop the services with Leah's cleaning services, and we're gonna go do our own. And I want you to be our head cleaner. I want you to be our head cleaner we'll pay you better, blah, 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 all this stuff. And she's like, absolutely not. And then that day I wrote an email and I said, I'm sorry, but due to, what transpired today, we can no longer service you. So, cause you don't want, if you see anything like with clients like that, you get rid of them. If you see anything with employees like that, get rid of them, cause it's like, it's a waste of time.
All right, let's talk about crazy people. Now that we're talking about people, right? I know this is so fun. So, all right. Clients and staff. We talked a little bit about your staff. You actually had another instance with the staff that was something I had never heard of before.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
It was the Jerry Springer stuff.
All kinds of stuff happens in Florida. See, I live in I don't know. I like the stuff that doesn't happen like this in Massachusetts. We have the craziest thing that's ever happened to us is that one of my cleaners, one of my girls walked in on a client that was naked because she, I don't know, wasn't paying attention to her on my way text. Everyone send a 7-day, a 3-day, and an on my way text. That's what we do. And she still walked out of the bathroom naked. That's the craziest thing that's happened. But you, my friend, have had a lot of different things happen.
I take the cake. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know why. So the one thing that's sticking out with me, there was some type of solicitation, right? There was something like that.
Yeah. So apparently there was a solicit. Supposedly it was I thought I was getting pranked when I got the call, but so one of my clients, they claimed that that their father, who's in his 80s, had sex with one of my cleaners, and I was like, oh my God.
Did she say have sex, or did she say the girl was just
made? They had sex.
Really?
That's what he said, apparently. And I was like, what in the world? Like, this is wild.
Like full-blown sex, or like just some fake?
And I'm like, how do you know this? What's the proof? Like, this is insane. It was crazy. And I don't know. It was just, that was a wild thing. And
so this was the daughter. So the daughter of the father. Right, that you talked to?
Yeah.
So what was her attitude about it? Like, what did she say to you? Was she cool about it? Or
no, they were really upset, and understandably so. Like, and I understand. And I was like, but like, how do you, because like, I'm like, this is insane. Like, and it really saddened me, because I felt like I had a good relationship with them, and like I thought it was a lot stronger than that. And I don't understand. It just, we ended up obviously parting ways, but there wasn't, I was left in the blank, and in the dark. I mean, I didn't know what that's
a different type of service.
Yes. And that's not something that we provide. That was so crazy. I was like,
that is crazy.
And like,
did she admit to it? Did the girl admit to it? No, she didn't.
No. And I don't see that happening either. Like,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I know, it's so weird.
Maybe they didn't have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the daughter-in-law just assumed. But you can't fault the poor guy. He's 80 years old. He's on his way out, right? Let him have more fun. No, I'm only kidding.
I don't know. That was pretty crazy, and that was sad though, because I really cared for them, and like I just like that whole thing. I was like, this is insane. Like, how do you even handle a situation like this?
That like beyond makes you look bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you say to that? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, it's crazy, but she's long gone. But yeah, so that was crazy. And then we've had a couple over the years.
What about client? What about like crazy client? That's more like the staff. Like, what about like clients?
So clients, I have a screwdriver lady, we call her.
What's that?
So it was a clean that I actually went and did. The lady, and this was before I did walkthroughs.
Okay, which we'll talk about in a second. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And I show up, and, her whole story was, I had these 2 girls come in and clean for me last week. They're recovering addicts. And I wanted to give them a chance, give them a shot. Not a professional cleaning service, not, just like some random people off the street. And they didn't do a good job. Surprise, surprise. So she was like, I want my house to be cleaned, this and that. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm like, do you want a deep clean or a standard clean? She goes, just a standard. It just needs a standard. Well, I show up. I'm like, I need the deep clean. And this is the first. And she was talking about how much she was going to refer me and this and that and all this stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a little bit like extra for her. And so it ended up from a standard. It ended up actually being a deep clean. But she paid for a standard. And this lady was, oh my God, so out of her mind. I couldn't believe it. She, so, cleaning's completed. I had to go, get some business cards because, she was saying how she wanted to refer me business.
Refer you. Right.
So I went out to the car and I grabbed some business cards and I go up to the door. I just literally walked out and the door's locked. And I'm like, okay. And so I rang the doorbell. Didn't hear anything. I knocked and I'm waiting. I'm like, what the heck? And I see her. She comes walking up and she's got gloves on her hand. And I'm like, and she's got like one of those, what's it called? Like the Clorox white wipes or whatever.
Oh my God. Really?
I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God. And she goes, I'm like, is everything okay? And she goes, no. And this woman was so nice during the cleaning. Actually, I have to tell you more. She was very nice during the cleaning. She did flash me during the cleaning.
Yeah. She flashed you?
She flashed me during the cleaning.
Like boob flash you?
Yeah. And like she.
What do you mean? Like you just said, hey.
Out of the blue. She's like, because she was talking about, and it's like, it's fine or whatever. But I didn't expect for her to show me her boobs.
Not really. Was she talking about a boob job or something? Or like,
yeah. She was talking about a boob job.
Oh my
And
God.
because she had breast cancer. And so she was talking about her breast cancer. And
Oh,
yeah. So then she was talking about, I got my boobs done, and then I got my nipples done or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I'm cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, look. And she goes, whoop. And she just and I'm like, right. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm looking away, and I'm just
God.
still cleaning. I'm like, okay.
Maybe she liked you.
I don't know. And then she goes, she's like, it's okay. They're all fake. I'm like, I understand. I just don't feel comfortable.
That's
Showing
strange.
your boobs, and so, so that happened prior to all of this. So just to get an idea of how this woman is. So it was it was literally like a light switch, got turned on. She was a completely different person. I think she's bipolar or something. It was really
something.
bizarre. So she goes and she says, no, not everything's not all right. And she goes, you didn't clean where the trash can was in the bathroom. Look at this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, your bathroom trash can was in your master bedroom. And after I vacuumed and mopped the floor, I went and placed that trash can back in there. So there's no way that you can say that I didn't clean that area,
Yeah.
And even to be. So then she walks over and she goes over. She had this baseboard that had some water damage and it was lifting, right? So she takes this wet wipe and goes behind it and wipes. Look at this base, and wipes it like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to put my hand behind the baseboard. There's nails, whatever. So anyway, so that happened. And then I was like, well, let me make this right. Cause customer service. I'm like, this lady's freaking
great. You're trying to get out of the house at that point.
Yeah. And I was like, so I grabbed a white rag, right? And I sprayed the whole area that she was talking about, and I wiped, and there wasn't a single thing on the freaking white rag. And I'm not going to be like, oh, look, to be in her face, but I was just like, okay, I did this area for you. Is there anything else I can do for you? Oh no, everything's fine. Thank you so much. It's completely different person. And I'm like, again,
money. Goodbye.
It was insane. And then she started harassing me. So
is this a screwdriver lady?
Yes.
Okay. So screwdriver's coming.
Then she starts sending me pictures of her stovetop, because her stovetop was a wreck, burnt stuff all over, glass stovetop. Yeah. And I made it. She even came in and goes, oh my gosh, what did you do with my stovetop? It looks amazing. It looks so great. How did you get this off? And I'm like, oh, well, I use this, and this. And then I had mentioned the razor blade. And right when I had said that, it's like she didn't like that, I guess, in her mind, but didn't address it until later. So she came back at me and was like, oh, you've scratched my stovetop, blah, 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 blah. And she sends me pictures. There's no scratches. It's the circle marks for when you do the, sauteing or whatever. It's just wear and tear. And it's an old stove. She's like, this is a brand new stove and you've ruined it and blah, blah, blah. And I said, ma'am, that wasn't me. I didn't do circular motions like that. And it was insane. So that happened. Then and I said, oh, and then she ended up writing me again. And then I ended up caving, and I was just like, you know what? This lady wants something from me, so I'm just going to refund her. I was just like, screw it.
Sometimes I just better off get rid of her.
But then still after the refund, she continued to write me. She took a screwdriver, and I'm not even kidding you, because you could tell. She sends me another picture. The looks like she took a screwdriver and just dug deep into her stove. And then the stove then the stove was filthy. And then she posted it online and said, this is what Leah's cleaning services did to my stove.
Oh,
I was like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, I have a picture that you sent me 2 weeks ago where just those little marks on the same exact burner. And now you're saying that.
Was this a Google review?
No, it was on Facebook. Thank God.
Okay.
But she had posted that, and then it's not there anymore. But but she had posted that. And then, she goes, whatever you did is making my stovetop peel. And I'm like, your stovetop can't peel. Yeah. So yeah, I blocked her. She's a freaking nut. That was insane.
How long ago was that?
That was that's about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you never heard from her. So that's crazy.
No.
See, people are crazy. It's like sometimes you go into people's houses and you think that they're all normal and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then shit like that happens. And then you're like, oh my God. And so there was someone made a comment today. I want to say, yeah, it was Dustin, who's in the Sisters Who Scale Facebook group. And I had posted something last week and I had said, name one thing that makes you want to quit the business. And he said, getting blamed for things you don't do. Mm-hmm. And like, does that ever happen to your girls? It's happened to mine. We've gotten blamed for letting animals out, eating food, which is really kind of fucked up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like no one really eats. We're not there to eat your food. We're here to clean your house. Just different things. Like they will tend to blame the cleaner first. And I don't think that that's fair. And 9 times out of 10, they find what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. But it's always the cleaner. And that, that's hard. That's a hard thing to swallow, I think. You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Same thing with the food. I've had someone who said that.
Same thing with the food.
Yeah, that she came home and was really excited to eat her slice of pizza that was in the fridge, and it was magically disappeared, and the pizza box was in the trash. And I'm like, well, maybe you drank too much last night. I don't know, put it down. I don't know, but like there's stuff like that. I mean, there's a bunch of things. There's like, oh, my iPad's missing. Oh, and then it's like, really, before you make an accusation like that, you need to really be sure.
I know.
And
you have to.
But then, iPad magically appears, it's like, and all of my girls, they are background checked. I pay for background checks. So I know that they do not have criminal records, and, and I trust these girls, and they respect the business. They respect my standards. They, and they know what to do in situations, and I respect them, and I have their back. And, it's hard in this business because the gleaners are always the first ones to get blamed.
And it sinks as an owner because, you have to look at both sides. You have to be objective. You have to be like, okay, which team was in the house? Okay. Have you ever had a complaint before with them? All right. No. And now you have the client, and it happened to us not too long ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Client couldn't find an heirloom bracelet. And she was going to her mother's mass or whatever, and the anniversary of her mother's death or whatever, wanted to wear the bracelet. Ends up finding the bracelet like a few days later, somewhere in the house. And it is always and she's a lovely woman, but it's the same story. I always leave this piece of jewelry or whatever it is in this same place. Now it's not there. Then they find it somewhere else in their house. She found it in a drawer in the office. That wasn't my girls. You know what I mean? But it's like, how, here I am panicking. I'm like, how am I going to replace an heirloom? Like, as an owner, you have to be so objective because you don't want to just immediately go to, oh my gosh, my staff stole it or whatever. You have to really be objective. But like, honestly, like 95% of the time, that object that they're missing always shows up. Always. But there's the case where sometimes the things don't show up. Has that ever happened? Have you had theft in your company?
I have not. I've not had any theft. I have had accusations, but then things always end up getting found. I did have one thing, but that was like a whole nother thing. But and I was so pissed off about it. But they accused one of my girls, who is like the most honest, sweet freaking heart, of stealing like a child's vintage tea set. And claimed that she
a tea set.
But this is the thing: she went from their houses are next door to each other, and supposedly, and our bags are mesh. You can see through our bags, but supposedly she took the tea set and somehow magically put it in her bag without clacking around, and then went to the house right next door and still cleaned. It was the same family. And, there's no way.
Like, how many cups are we talking? How many teacups are we talking?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know it's like, it's just so silly. And like, but they had, there was reason behind it, because I was getting out of the field, because I was like, I'm no longer cleaning in the field, and they weren't happy about that. So that's, you know, so let's go ahead and accuse. But it was interesting though, too, because, you know, I could tell it was a lie, because right when I heard that, they said something was stolen. And I said, okay, what was stolen? Like, this is like serious. And didn't hear from them. I mean, this is like a week going by. Oh, well, it was a tea set, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
who steals a tea set? No one.
There's no reason for her to have a child's tea set. She has a son. There's no reason for this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's silly. Like,
and isn't like a tea set like the big teacup, like 4 cups and then 4 saucers? Like, how do you fit that all in a caddy?
No, you can't. And that's what's just absurd. And then they also had like all this home renovation, and things were moved around. So it's like, how do you know you didn't pack it away somewhere, and you're just going to try to like, and obviously, and that ended up the relationship for the 2 houses, because she, you know, and it's like, you know what? I don't need this, you know, bull crap. It's like, you know, with clients that you have to find your clients that are honest and laid back and good people. And, you know, there's some crazies who get in there every now and then, but you got to get rid of them when you can. And, you know, it's, but that's why I find it very important too, to meet someone so I can get the vibe from the people. Sometimes they speak in, but, you know, I watch for things they say, little cues and things like that, to see if I want them as a client. 'Cause it's not like, you know, and yes, you get to a point of like, where do I really want you as a client? You know, like, because it's like, you're not just taking on everything. Like, oh, there's a clean. Okay, I want to do it. You know, it's like, you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself as a business, and making sure protecting your girls. And, you know, it's, I don't know.
You can always tell when someone's creepy. I had someone creepy try and get me to come to do a walkthrough, and I just had a bad vibe. I had a bad vibe over text. And I just canceled them. I didn't even go. But you had a couple of other crazy things, like didn't you find like dead people in houses and stuff before?
Yeah. So we had
that's crazy.
Yeah, we did. We had that happen. So
did you find someone, or did
one of my girls did? So one of our clients, we called him the Playboy house, you know, so because he collected all these Playboys, like, I mean, everywhere, like it's bookcases and bookcases and bookcases of Playboys. And at first, when I did the walkthrough, I was a little bit like, I don't know. But he ended up being a really nice
showcase guy. And like cases and stuff, like,
yeah, they were like in like plastic. Yeah, they were all over. But he ended up being a nice guy. He was just a lonely guy, but very nice guy. Yeah, I went and cleaned for him myself, and never got a vibe of any sort. And and neither did the girls. He liked Playboys, so we just called him the Playboy house. But he had some health issues, and you know, it was
so he was older.
He wasn't that old though. No? He wasn't that old. He was like mid-60s. Like mid-60s, but he was heavier, set guy, you know, didn't walk, didn't do any exercise, didn't walk a lot, you know, it was very sad. And never been married, never had kids, you know, just a lonely guy.
He's a little bit of an oddball then. Yeah,
he was a little odd, but he was harmless. He really was. He was a good guy, and house was very clean, very easy to clean. And he always tipped, and he was a very nice, good, you know, good guy. But, you know, and one of my girls, like, it was her regular, and, you know, she developed a relationship with him, and, you know, because I find that's very important to us, to have relationships with our clients. And so she had said, she's like, he's not doing well. And that day, we have it on camera actually in the office, where she goes, I'm just going to show up one day and he's going to be dead. Like,
so she knew.
She knew that he was having some health issues. And I had thought, so, because like the week before I spoke with him, he sounded a little off, like he wasn't himself on the phone. And I was like, and he had given me a check the week before, and it wasn't like, it was like scribble scrabble. Like, it wasn't like, actually the check got denied because it was, they couldn't read it. And he refused to go to the doctor. So anyway, so she walked in and she like she normally does, and she's like, oh, and she smelt.
Oh,
like
he must have been, yeah.
She goes, she's like thinking, okay, she's like, his trash, he hasn't taken his trash out. Like, this is bad. And she's calling his name, and he usually answers. He's usually right there in that one room. Well, he wasn't in there. So she starts walking and searching for him. And then she found him in his bed, and he was gone. Like he was discolored, all the things. So, and I had talked, or was it a week? I'm trying to remember how long ago, or maybe it was like a 5 days or something. It was 5 days before his appointment is when I last talked to him. So we're like, okay, he died between this time frame, because that was the last time I talked to him. But anyway, so she called me, and she was obviously a mess, and
of course,
so bad for her. Like, I mean, I immediately rushed over there to be with her, and I can't even imagine walking into that, and it was really, it was very sad, especially that he was alone, and he was, it was a very sad thing. But yeah, you hear about these things like, oh, cleaners walking in on dead people, and it's like, well, that happened to us. Like, that's thing.
Crazy. I mean, and so that could happen to anyone. So like, so what did you do? Did you call the police? Like, how did? Like,
immediately, because and my girls, she was so upset, so distraught, and I'm like, you can't call 911. So, and I took, I was like, I didn't say, I was just like, I'm calling 911. So I called and talked to them. By the time I got, because I was like 5 minutes away from where she was when I got the call, the fire department was already there, and they were, consoling her and everything. And then I looked at him, I'm like, is he? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, great. Like, this is, it's like, what the heck is happening? But
it could happen to anyone. You just gotta, like, that's a good point. Like, it's never happened to us, but like, what now you're prepared. So like, you can tell the staff, if this ever happens, here's what you do.
Yeah. Call me.
You know what I mean? Well, obviously they're going to run out of the house screaming blue bloody murder or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, but the operator made her go back in the home. The 911 operator. She's like, you need to go, because she's like, can you go back in and check to see if he's really like dead? And
you're like, he smells. So yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I was because I'm like, because I told her to get out, because I'm like, you shouldn't be breathing that in. You need to get out of the house, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the smell was awful. I've
never smelled that. I don't know what that smells like.
It's terrible. It's like it's like roadkill smell, like
okay.
It's like
yeah. Like it's disintegrating into.
Yeah.
So
but it was really
let's change the subject and talk about favorite clients.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What do you got for favorite? For who's your idea? Like, if you could pick, like, out of a hat, like, pick your model client.
My model client. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We have a lot of amazing clients. I really feel like a lot of my clients are model clients. Like, I'm really happy with our clients.
Good.
Yeah. They're because like people are very they're very appreciative. I like it when they're appreciative.
Yeah, it's so nice, like, isn't it?
Like, to the girls for the hard work they do, and then like for like sometimes for me, like for the stuff that I do, like in the back stuff, and like scheduling and all that good stuff, and communication, and but the girls, like, and I just love that when they're like, they communicate with me, letting me know, because I even tell people, I'm like, listen, if there is, because I have like a thing where I say it's like a comment or a complaint, there's a difference, and I'm like, that's what I call them. So like, if there's something that's like, hey, just want to let you know, like, I've noticed this or that, but it's not a big deal. Like, I consider that a comment,
It's a comment.
Yeah. And then, but a complaint is like, this wasn't done, da, 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 da. Like, you can see. And then if it is a complaint, like it's a legitimate complaint, like there's photos and things like that, there's two different things.
And it comes across over text. A complaint comes across like nails on a chalkboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Or like emails or texts, and then it's like, ugh. But we offer to come out if there's something. Just they have to let us know within 24 hours if there was something. And also I even say, like, if there's stuff that's like you're like, hey, I don't need them to come out, but I still want to be I still want to know. So please still let me know. Because then I can talk to them and I can put it in the notes and like, hey, this was mentioned, like, so make sure this is like for the next cleaning and going forward, this area is taken care of,
Right.
So
exactly. So you do walkthroughs, and I know that is like a bone of contention in the industry. Some people swear by walkthroughs, some people don't do walkthroughs. So I'm a huge proponent of doing walkthroughs, estimates, whatever you want to call them, quotes, because I believe that you can find out a lot about a house if you go see it, right? Like clutter and things like that. And like, some people will like do their pricing for square footage, but like you do your pricing for square footage and the house is a hoarder house, for example, like you're walking into a nightmare, and then you're paying labor, you're pricing it, and then you're paying more labor, and then you're not making any money. So I teach everyone to do in-person walkthroughs. I also see a trend that more women business owners, cleaning business owners, do walkthroughs. They believe in it more so than guys. No offense, guys, but that's what I see. I think you can build a very profitable and sustainable cleaning business doing walkthroughs. Now, was there ever a time where you didn't do walkthroughs?
Yes.
There was. All right. What was that like? Tell us the difference.
Oh, huge difference, because, clients would say, oh, we're very clean. Like, it's not that bad. And then you show up, you're like, oh my God, it's bad. Like it's, never, ever, ever take a client's word for their level of cleanliness. And, there has been, I remember, honestly, I think there was one instance that happened where I was like, okay, like it shifted me, like I have to come see the houses at this point. I had a clean. It was supposed to be a anniversary present for the wife, and I show up and I walk in and it's literally a biohazard, and I'm like, absolutely not. There's no way in heck this was supposed to be a standard clean for 3 hours. Absolutely not. Like, we are not doing this. Like, and I turned it down, and they were pissed off at me and they were mad at me. And I said, just do this or that. And I said, absolutely not. I'm like, this would take us so long. I need a bigger crew. I need to schedule a bigger crew.
What was in it that made it a biohazard?
Oh God.
Was it like mold and stuff? Like,
oh God, yes. There was mold. There was like their living room couch was half torn apart. Like missing cushions, like torn, like cushion, like stepping out. There was, most of the baseboards were either missing or torn off the wall. They looked like they just took dirt and just wiped it all over the walls. And mind you, in a very nice neighborhood. Was it a rental? Maybe they rented it out. They own it. And the countertops, the kitchen, you couldn't see the countertops. They were so filled with everything. The bathrooms were disgusting, mold everywhere, all in the toilet. I mean, disgusting, covered in the toilets, covered in the showers, covered in the tubs. The sink had where they had like the kitty litter on the like countertop in the bathroom sink. Then they also had the cat food on the counter sink. So there's like litter and cat food and mold and hair and toothpaste.
Imagine people living like that.
It's disgusting.
Imagine and then people living like that. Like, what the
clutter everywhere. Oh my God. And it was awful. So after that day, I said, I will never, ever go blindly into a home again. And I'm very happy about that. So, and then,
I agree.
It's cause you, and there's been so many times too, where, it's just, you quote them and then they expect that price. So then if you come into them and everyone's like, oh, we'll just raise their price. Okay. Try doing that on a client. They're going to be pissed because they're going to be like, you told me 120 and now you're going to say it's 210. It's like, well, it needs more work, like.
A clean like that is when you talk like biohazard. A biohazard means feces, urine, bodily fluids, mold, algae, whatever. That's what it's considered. You call a company like ServPro, so ServPro or like JanPro, like they do cleans like that. They'll charge you $3,000 to clean that. Like there is no way that $300 is going to get that clean.
And I forgot too. Now you're saying that when I walked in, I remember the smell. It was just like animal urine, and they had multiple cats, multiple dogs, and so the floors were covered in urine. You know, and I was just like, this is disgusting. Like, no, we're not doing it. Like,
anyone that
ever like turned away clean, like right there and then, like
anyone that sees that, if you're listening, anyone that sees that, just walk away from it. Don't even attempt it. You'll never make a profit. You're in way over your head if you don't have the expertise. Like you have to be certified to technically clean all that stuff up, mold and stuff like that. Like you're breaking all kinds of rules, right, in the cleaning industry, and you're putting yourself and your staff in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Like who knows what you're gonna find?
And they don't want to clean that.
No. We're house cleaners. We want to clean house cleaners, businesses, nice. Yes, we could do deep cleans and stuff, but like that's as far as it goes. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So your staff is amazing. So, and we're going to talk about like all the goals like you've hit, and it is directly related to your staff, right? And a little bit of my help, I may say so too.
Yes, you helped tremendously. Well,
I think when we first started working together, it was your staff, right? You just
it was my staff.
Keep them.
It was my staff. Yeah.
Your staff now, like, because now they're awesome. Like, what are some of the things that you did or you do now to like inspire them and motivate them to keep coming to work?
I mean, we have like our bonus pay. So that's one thing. So like if they call out, if they, get a complaint, if they, like showing up late, they get their bonus taken away. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I don't know, just like, it's really and truly, it's finding the right people. I feel like I feel like
you do some cool things though. Like you do like paint night and stuff that.
Yeah. We've done like paint nights. We've done like axe throwing night. We've gone out to like dinners. We've gone to yoga.
See, they like that stuff.
Yeah, we've done stuff like that. We try to do it on a more regular basis, but sometimes things get not like like maybe like once a month or something like that, but it's fun, and it's fun to get out and just like, because I mean, you're working with these girls all like 5 days out of the week so it's like they're your little work family. So
you got to appreciate them. And so if you appreciate your staff, they'll appreciate you back.
Yeah. Cause like, and also like, think about if they're not there, you wish they were, to help. So it's like, I am very grateful every day for my girls, and they work hard and they do a good job. And I mean, I really do think it has to do with like, once I start seeing like red flags after I hire someone, like during training, if I start seeing red flags, I will cut them pretty quick. Like I will start to be like, okay, no, we're not dealing with this. It's no more, okay, I can work with that or whatever. It's like, no.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
So, okay. Let's see, like, well, calling out, number one, that's a big thing. If they call out right away, that's absolutely a no-go. Another thing is, so if they during training, they can't catch on to what's going on. By the end of the training, they should be ready to go out into the field. And if like I had one lady who would argue with me, and I'm like,
oh, really?
You're arguing with me? Like she said, well, this boy, the son, said not to clean this room. I said, his parents, we've been here multiple times. His parents have not told me that we are not cleaning that room. We are cleaning that room today. Well, he said not to. I said, we're cleaning that room. So let's go clean that room, there's like that, or, there's things like, where you show them how to do something, how you do it, and everybody has their own things or whatever, but as long as it's getting done, in a timely manner, that's fine. And it's correctly. But if there's like signs of like, you're still noticing, like I want to, by the end of training, I want to see that I can't correct anything. Like
Right.
you've done it great. And, so if I start seeing things where it's like, I had one girl who it was the last day of her second week of training, and I go to check her work in the kitchen, and I look around and I'm like, oh my God, cabinets were not wiped. The freaking countertops, things weren't moved because I moved things to check underneath them like the clients would do.
Right.
And, there's things like that. So,
you gotta move stuff.
Yeah. So after that, I said, I'm sorry. I said, you need another week of training. And at that point I knew she wasn't going to stay on. And she's like, well, I can't afford another week of training. I said, well, I can't afford to bring you out into the field and clean for my clients because you're going to give me all the complaints. It's going to be a waste of like a waste of time, so either you can learn from me or.
And at that point, you just say, so you don't make them feel bad. You just say, I'm not sure this job is the right fit for you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you say, and move on. Like we do a working interview where they work for 3 days, and then we assess them. I have team leaders and trainers that go out now. Whatever, I did it all before, but now I have management in place, and so I put a new person with different trainers each day. So some trainers will be a little bit more honest with me than others will, or some are afraid to hurt anyone's feelings or something like that. You have different trainers that are going to give you different feedback. So it's good to put them with multiple ones. But at the end of the 3 days, I get the feedback from my trainers, and then I sit with them and I say, so is the job everything you thought it was going to be? I had one a few weeks ago that she's like, oh my God, this is so hard. I had no idea. People have no idea that cleaning houses all day for a living is hard work. Mm-hmm. And it's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You're looking for the people that are good at it and that that want to do it, so people think it's easy. Mm-hmm. And
I get a lot of the, like, when I do ads, like for hiring, and people, I'm like, oh, so do you have any cleaning experience? Well, I clean my own house. Not the same.
Nope. No, not the same. Oh, or they usually say, I'm OCD. I hear that every interview. But thank you. I love it. Oh my God, that's so funny. So let's talk about how awesome Leah is. So let's talk about goals. So when you and I first started working together, you were bringing in what, about 8,000, 10,000 a month? Mm-hmm. Is that where you were? Mm-hmm. That's where you were, right?
Yeah.
That was the average. So you just hit 30,000 what, in February a month?
January. Wait, and February. No, is it January? I don't know. It's in March. And in March. It's
so it's 30,000 every single month.
Yeah.
So that's triple. And so why do you think what changed for you to enable you? Probably there's a lot of things, but like if you can name a couple of things, like how were you able to do that?
It's just been growing. Like, I'm just trying to think. Okay, so
and she said 100 clients. 100 clients is
100 recurring clients. Yeah.
Yes, 100 recurring clients. Yeah. So like it's a huge accomplishment. Most cleaning businesses don't usually get past 100, 120,000 a year. So you're headed like way past that, right? So and people want to know how did you do it? What do you think you changed, or what had to happen for you to get there?
Yeah, I mean it takes time. It takes time.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah, it takes time. You have to make sure that, and it's a constant learning experience. And you are constantly learning, like, what to do, what not to do. Okay, this didn't work, so let's try this. It's like kind of like an experiment, of trying different things until you see something that works. And there's that. There's just trying different avenues of, everything. Like,
I think it's your staff. I think the big thing is your staff.
Yeah. My staff is amazing. Google, making sure I'm legitimate on Google. Also SEO, CRM. Is very important.
What about the sales, like creating a sales package? I know you did that. And then
yes, the sales package was huge for walkthroughs because they're like, oh my gosh, this is like so put together. And it's like, yeah, like this is what we do. This is who we are, and this is the first time me meeting you. And like, here it is, and we follow that though. It's not just like this is who we are,
you're authentic. You believe in what you do. Like we do, I've done a sales package for forever. It's in my program, and Leah put together like an amazing one. It's like pink and beautiful. Like it's just like, it's perfect for her brand, and I do remember like when you first put that together, like someone actually, didn't they make a comment on Google or something, or I don't know if they did.
Yeah. There's there was like a Google review about the folder. Oh no, it was a survey. Was it the survey? I don't know. It was either Google review or a survey.
One
a
of
survey
those.
But they said how much they loved that everything was laid out, and I get that constantly. Even today, one of my walkthroughs, the lady had told me, she goes, I am just so impressed that you've come out here to see my home. She said, because when I called other people, they're like, oh, all right, you got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's, 2,000 square feet. Okay, this is the price. And she's like, but you haven't seen it. So how do you know? Because every house is so different. There's people that are cleaner than others. There's more clutter. There's more, it's.
Those companies don't make it, right?
No.
So like for the most part, maybe so if you're looking for volume, if you're not looking to build relationships, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. If you want a constant influx of clients coming, clients canceling, if you want long relationships, 4, 5, 6 years, go meet the people. Go sit at their kitchen table and bring your sales package and show them why you're different. Like there's so many, we talk about those pop-up cleaners, trunk slammers or whatever. They're everywhere. They do the same thing. Or they might walk into a house and just walk around and say nothing and be like, I can do it for $150. So now they're just like, they're competing on price. Like when you compete on like creating a sales package is creating value. And so when you create something like that, you can charge more because they assume that you're worth it because you bring more to the table. And that's, that's obviously one of the big things we do when you work with me, is that I'm showing you how to raise your prices, because some ladies and gentlemen come to me with prices in the toilet. And then you got to raise your prices if you're going to make money. Because otherwise
and then also too, as you grow, it's like, it's not like, oh, it's like, it's so great, like I'm making all this money, because you're not. It's you're as you're growing, your business is also, there's more expenses. So, yes, you're making more money, like some more money for yourself, but your business expenses are also higher. So you need to price it accordingly. So then that way you can pay for the, because, I know one thing that I had learned was like, with like payroll tax, it's like the taxes and, it's like, there's just workers' compensation, there's, insurance, and there's all this overhead, and like having like the rental space, supplies, providing all these things. I mean, just for the girls alone, I mean, it's like just for their supplies, like uniforms and all the equipment, it's like $500-$600 per person, and like maintaining that stuff, so it's like there's things that, yes, you'll you make money, more money, but you also have more business expenses as well,
and you don't get to 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, whatever a month without spending money. You can't do that running it out of your home. Very difficult, right? So like, and I'm like a huge proponent of getting an office, because when you get an office and you see your staff every morning, or at least a few times a week, like that's building company culture. They get to see you. It creates like a system, and it's like uniform. It feels like a real company to them. That's like so important. And I think when we first started working together, you were working out of the garage. You had everything set up in the garage, which is normal. I did the same thing. But as you grow, if you really want to grow and really want to look like a real company, you need an office.
Yeah, you do. It was the best. It was the best thing, was getting the office too. Like that was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel so much better, and I feel like your staff respects you more. you know, that you have an office. Because before, I mean, there was a day where I forget what happened, but one of the girls came early to my house, and I wasn't expecting them to come early to come refill their supplies. And I was in my robe when I answered the door to them, and I was like, this isn't appropriate. So
it's not really. You don't want your staff to see you in that light.
Yeah. So it's like having the office. I mean, since we've been together, so I was out of my house, out of the garage, and then I moved into my office space. I had my one little office space. Now we have two in the building. So now we have two rooms, because now it's like the supply room and then our office in here. So, you know, it's really growing, and it's usually about, for us, it's been kind of like every 3 to 4 months, we either hire a new cleaner to come on that has not because of like losing someone, but because of gaining clients. And, you know, so it's like, that's been kind of our growth. Cause I even looked at, what was it, this time last year, and we were double what we were this time last year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So
now you're at the point where to double it to 60 is you have a whole new set of challenges coming your, if you want to go that way. You know what I mean? Some people don't want to. Some people just want to build it to $400,000 a year, and you know, that's okay. Like, you need more manpower. Like, you're finding out now you need to bring someone on to help you, because you're working probably 40, 50 hours a week.
Yeah. I'm doing all the things.
You're doing everything.
All the things.
You need someone else. So, all right, let's talk about, because I really haven't said much about it. So I don't even know how you even found me 2 years ago, but let's talk about your time in the Drop Them Up and Scale Accelerator, the first fundamental program, the 6-month program. I can't believe that was 2 years ago. I was going to say last year. I think it was like 2 years ago. You were the first one. You were the first drop to, but right before that, I had only done private sessions with people. So you were in the first Drop Them Up group program. That's part of the Sisters Who Scale Like University, which laid the groundwork, you know, for you getting your fundamentals, getting the sales package, like we talked about, stuff like that. Operational documentation, recruiting techniques, pricing strategies. You've mastered all that stuff. And then last year you progressed into my graduate program called the Sisters Elite, where we tackle specific business obstacles like strengthening entrepreneurial resilience, right? Like CEO strategies, creating management teams, implementing scales tactics, stuff like that. So let's back up. What did you like most about the first program, the Drop Them Up? Name 3 things if you can think of them.
So the first program, I remember, like, oh gosh, it was like, I felt like, it was so nice to talk to girls. There was all these other girls that were in the group going through similar problems, and I didn't feel alone. And then we could discuss things and bounce things off of each other, and then learn from you,
and laugh.
And laugh. And oh gosh, the OG group, I love them. I love them. They were
the OG. I know, because the OG group's in the Sisters Elite.
Yes. Yeah, no, I know. It's like, it was good. It was good times. I really, and I enjoyed the weekly calls, and, you know, it was like, it really helped. And then, you know, learning from you, doing the program, learning, like, because there were some things that, like, it's like, you don't know. You're constantly learning. And if you think you know it all, you're not going to make it long in the business. So, you know, you were constantly learning, and, you know, I learned so much from you, with all of that, and going through that program and like writing it down and really figuring out, like, okay, you know, like what I was charging people, and, you know, am I charging them enough, or, you know, and then doing price increases. I remember being terrified.
You did a lot of price increases.
I did, because I was really low on some, you know, and you know, I did lose some, but a lot stayed, because, you know, like they were understanding of it, you know, so, but yeah, no, it's all about, you know, just, you know, you're providing them a good service, and
it provides, you know, like owners, like a system, a blueprint, right? Like to follow, right? So they don't feel like they're winging it. Like they're like flailing out in the wind, like, oh my God, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just gonna try, try this stuff. It's stuff that like actually works. It works in my business. Anything that I teach, anyone, I've already done it in my business. I still do it in my business and it works. So it's not like I'm, coming up with something from like, 20 years ago, right? That doesn't work anymore. Like it's something that's actually like working. But
you're learning from like other people's mistakes or other people's like, not just mistakes, but also like what they're currently doing. It's good.
Yeah. Well, now, there's obviously a cost with it. Would you say, was the investment in the program scary to you?
So at first I was like, at first I was like, it's a lot. And I got a little bit,
but I'm lower than a decent amount. Like
you are. Oh, because I remember contacting, I'm not allowed to say names.
You don't say name.
Okay. Yeah. I remember contacting someone and I had a call with them and they were like, and they were so pushy. It's a sales tactic. I know what it is, but today, if you sign up, it's $10,000 only. And I'm like, oh, what? And then it's like,
what is it if I don't sign up today? What if
I don't sign up? If you don't sign up right now, it's going up to $14,000. And I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, are you able to come up with this money? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not gonna. But anyways, so you were reasonable with your pricing, and for coaching, and but yes, it is. At first I was like, it was a bill for for me, but I also got so much from it, and now it's like I'm happy that I invested because it's really not that much when you think about it. Because just go get some new clients.
Just go. If you can't go out and get one or two clients to pay for the course, you shouldn't be in the cleaning business.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? You shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Right. Yeah. So like achieving like real growth in cleaning business, like it demands more than just like free stuff, like free YouTube videos. You can learn a little bit, right, from that. But like I tell everyone, like if you really, want true success, like it requires strategic investment, right? Free advice, like it sparks like initial progress, maybe get you like motivated and going, but like to break to the next level, like you did, like 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month, like you need game changing professional and guidance, whoever you pick. And I tell everyone, like if you're looking for help, find someone that resonates with you. I don't care if it's me or not. Like the reason why you want you want to resonate with that person is because you're going to get a better result, because you're going to show up for yourself. If you like that person, you have a much higher success of like doing better. Does that make sense? And if you don't like whoever you were talking to, like, no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying really quick. You were so real. Like when I met you and when you had the consultation, and I was like, that's it. Like you're my coach. Like I was just like, I felt.
I don't believe in sugarcoating anything. I don't believe in playing bullshit games. We're either a fit for each other or we're not. Like I want to get as many people, results as I can. So if you're not a fit for me, that's okay. Find someone that is. Right? And that's what it's all about. But the pushy stuff, just whatever. It's not for everyone. It's not pushy stuff. Isn't for everyone. So why would you recommend the Drop Them Up Excel and Scale Accelerator? Like who would be the perfect person that would need this program?
So somebody that's wanting to, I'm just going to say so someone, not a solo cleaner. I don't know if that's okay to say, but I'd probably say not a solo cleaner. I would say somebody who wants to, if it's a solo cleaner wanting to start to have employees, somebody who wants to have a cleaning business. That's correct. Who I would say. Not like, yes, everybody started out as a solo cleaner, but I feel like somebody who really wants to have a business and have employees and go past that solo cleaning point, I think that they should come to you if they're, because
they need the systems.
Yeah.
Because you can just solo clean by yourself wherever, and you can kind of just, there's nothing really to teach.
Yeah.
You clean good, collect the money. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. But so is there anything else you want to tell everyone out there that's listening? By the way, I didn't want to make you nervous, but we've had quite a few people on this, jumping off and on. I can see the ticker. Yeah. So you're coming from everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. So.
Hi everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, like, anything you want to tell, and any people out there that are listening that like are, wanting to be where you are, like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, it's not an easy road to get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
But if you put in the work and you put in the time and you invest the money, and you just keep pushing, just keep pushing. Like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Like, that's like, keep going. And, don't, there's going to be days that are going to be hard, but they'll pass, there's going to be days that are going to be great, so, I just feel like, don't give up. I mean, unless it's really not for you, then give up, I guess. But don't give up. And it's a hard business. It is a hard business.
Yeah, it's harder than people think.
It is. It's a hard business, and it's not for everyone. But I'd say, but for me, I'm like, just keep pushing, because it's like the good days weigh out the bad.
They do, and you have to, like, an entrepreneur has good days and bad days, like being on a roller coaster. So you're just gonna have to get used to going like this a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the less you react to stuff, the better off you are.
Yep.
You just keep calm, cool, and you're just like, okay, none of my staff showed up on a Monday. What are we gonna do? All right, tomorrow we're just gonna keep going. Right?
Yep.
There's nothing you can do at that point. You went out like a trooper. Instead of saying F this, you went out and cleaned.
Yep.
And that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's another thing too, because like, I know, like, there's so many people that are just like, oh, and yes, what's it? Automation? No, I'm saying that wrong. Automation. Thank you. Automation. There are some good things you can implement in your business with that.
Yeah.
But don't let that be your whole business, because people, you are the brand of your business. And, it's all these people think that also too, like, oh, like, I'm just going to let all of this, it's like, I built this business because I was out in the field cleaning, it can't just be like, it's like, oh, because there is a certain point. I mean, everybody has a different story and a different way of going, but I know for me, it's like, I'm willing to I'm really go out there and help however I can, and clean if I need to, or what have you. But it can't just sit back and just be like, oh, so great. Like, like, it's, like, just, but I don't know. Does that make sense?
You just have to get used to not giving up. Like, when I have like hard days or whatever, like, I just dig my heels in, and I'm just like, I get almost pissed off, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to let nothing's going to take anything away from me. You know what I mean? And I get like mad at the situation, and you just like, you just refuse.
Yeah.
You refuse to let like anything going on, whether it's a disgruntled client, or maybe someone did a chargeback on a credit card, or, whatever the situation is, you have to keep fighting.
Yep.
Because if you can't do this business, what makes you think you're going to be able to do another business? It's the same mindset. It's the same principles. It's being able to execute and getting up every day and doing the same crap over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, I think that what the biggest misconception is, things are going to happen fast. Like you said, it takes some time. People have a hard time they don't understand the concept of delayed gratification. Mm-hmm. You have to do a lot of things, a lot of boring, mundane things for a long period of time before you're going to see the results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then people usually quit right before the good stuff starts to happen, and they're never going to see it anyways. You know what I mean? So That's the biggest. People just think it's all easy because Instagram makes it look easy to build a business.
Well, that's the thing. I know. They're like, oh, I've booked all of these clients and all of, and I have never even cleaned in my life. And it's like, okay. Yeah. It's such bull crap. And they're selling, yes, once you get to a certain point and you learn through all of that,
Correct.
but for us, like we do W-2s, and so we're not like 1099, so it's not like so we're different in that way. I'm not trying to say that they're all bad. There's
1099 is difficult to build a company culture.
Yeah,
it's difficult. You don't know anyone. They get their own equipment. They work when they want. There's no like family camaraderie thing. It's difficult. You can build a business like that for sure, but it's a lot of moving parts. You want to have people that are like stay with you 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you hit those big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. It's like I tell everyone that without your people, you're nothing. You can't go out and clean 100 houses yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, no way. Like, you have to have staff that like has your back. So, investing in your staff is probably one of the biggest things people can do.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And then you got to hope for the best and have good sales too. Good sales game. So if people want to hire you, what areas do you specifically service? Like what towns in Florida?
So we service the Trinity area. We're just north of Tampa. We're about I'd say probably like 40 minutes north of Tampa, but we're on the like ocean, or not on the ocean, but we're on the water. Yeah, so like the water's right there. So yeah, like Newport Richey, Dunedin, Clearwater, like that kind of side. We do I'm trying to think of what else. Odessa. Yeah, I think I said basically a lot of them.
How many towns do you service?
There's a handful around here. So as long as we stay within 30 minutes from a house, that's our range. So like from the office, if you're 30 minutes away, we'll come. But if it's
30 minutes is good, that's enough. That's like far enough.
That's too far. After that point, it's too far. So if you're 30 minutes away from our office location, we'll come serve you. But because I also pay the girls hourly throughout the day, so it doesn't make sense for me to pay, let's go drive for an hour. Like there's so many cleaning businesses that it blows my mind that they
I don't know why
cleaners over an hour to a clean.
Like, not making money. They're not making a profit.
Yeah,
it's dumb. And even if you even if you don't do W-2 and you pay per performance, but you have like 2 hours of drive time, that's 2 hours you could have put another house on their schedule. So you're losing money in either way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter. It's not efficient at all. So 30 minutes is like the max. So your website, what's the website address?
leahscleaningservices.com.
That is easy to remember. So if you're in the Trinity area in Florida, Port New Richey, do you know that my grandmother used to live in Newport Richey? I don't know if I ever told you that.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Isn't that weird? We're connected. If you're looking for the best cleaner in the Trinity, Florida area, she's your girl. Look her up. We've talked for almost 2 hours, and you remember you were so nervous you didn't even need the bourbon. Did you drink the bourbon? You didn't even need the bourbon.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's good.
Yeah, fine. See, you like went off. I was like, we didn't even talk about like half of the things we were going to talk about. We just like went off. You know what I mean?
I know. Totally. Well, I feel like I was more nervous the first time, like we had talked or whatever. But then now, I guess it's better because we've done it before, and I talk to you all the time. So at this point, we talk all the time. So we
just talked last night on the Sisters Elite.
Yep.
No, you were there. Yeah. We had the call on Mondays. All right. If anyone is interested in hearing more about the Drop the Mop scale, the Spring Accelerator is open right now. If something resonated with you today, hearing Leah's story or meet Gavin, there's a couple of ways to get in touch with me. You can email me at sisterswhoscale at Cheryl@sisterswhoscale.com. I got a new email, new website. The website is live, sisterswhoscale.com. You can find me there as well. And then I'll go over the process and see if you want to join the tribe, join the Sisters Who Scale tribe. Leah, it's been so awesome talking to you.
Oh, it's always.
I'm so glad we did this. Yeah, it was super fun.
It was fun.
All right. It's 6:45 and I bet you want to get the hell home. So I'm going to let you go.
Okay. All right.
Bye, everyone. Hopefully next month there's going to be another episode on the Maids Who Made It podcast. So tune in and I'll see you all soon. All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.